Hey, what is up, guys? 10th Man here, bringing you yet another exciting X and Y Wi-Fi battle. This is a battle I had against my good buddy James, and looking from the teams, he's got a bunch of interesting threats, and I've got a bunch of interesting threats. This team that I'm using is actually probably the most successful team that I've used in 6th generation so far. Even though it was preliminary, it was probably, I think, one of the first battles I've had of this team. And the two main changes that have been to it since are from Krookodile and Scizor, but I'll go about that later. But anyway, let's get the battle started because I don't want to stall anymore. But, as I'm itching my head, you can see that. But hey, nice haircut, right? Nice haircut? Yeah. Anyway, he is actually going to lead out with the threat in Gorbis, and I'm just like, you son of a bitch, why are you leading of this and trying to ruin my life right now, here and now? But, anyway, I lead over my Krookodile, and I gotta switch out because I don't want to die. And, as he just sets up first turn and wants to wreck my life, and I'm just like, why do people do this? It just doesn't make sense. I have this. I mean, yes, you can do a KO me, but you're secking it too soon. It's like, why? Just why? As I just go for the safe secret sword, because I'm Specs, and boom, just brings it down to its sash. And, which is, whatever and everything. And of course, my luck, I get hit by 2 Hydro Pumps in a row, because 80 accuracy always misses for me, so, and just, a crit in the wound just to further sadden my stuff, so, but whatever. I bring out my Scizor, and this is a Choice Band Scizor, as he brings out his Steelix upon my Bullet Punch. Now, I could have U-turned, but I had to Bullet Punch. I really had no option, because if I went for U-turn, then he went for Hydro Pump, I'd probably have been swept right then and there. So, I was pretty much forced to go for Bullet Punch. And now this Steelix can just laugh at me the entire time as I just switch out, and I bring out my big freaking unexpected threat in my Krookodile. Now, guys, this is a defensive Krookodile. It has, the Impish, max defense, max HP, and yeah, it's definitely a role reversal from the attacking set that it had, last generation. Now, the reason why defensive Krookodile is so good, it's in such a nice speed tier. It has Taunt, it has Rocks, and it has the always coveted Knockoff. And of course, Knockoff is just given so many more Pokemon, so many amazing opportunities. Now, is Knockoff broken? I really don't think it is. I mean, the only really things that can take advantage of it are Dark types like Krookodile itself here. But, I mean, did you see that? Did you see how little that Gyro Ball did to my Krookodile? Hello? That is freaking awesome! I mean, yes, I had the minus attack drop, and I mean, holy crap, that was a big knockoffing hand on that Steelix. But anyway, I knock off his leftovers, so he cannot get into sturdy range anymore, which is absolutely fantastic, as he's just going to keep gyro-balling away and doing absolutely squat diddly to my mighty Crook, as he now predicts my taunt and switches out, as he just brings out the Gorbis as death fodder at this point, because it's just going to die to the Stalfrox. So, down goes the big threat that was kind of neutered as a threat, since it, I brought it down to its sash. I'm just going to give it some specs, some ideas, because it's annoying me. Anyway, yeah, defensive Crook is awesome. Anyway, out comes another humongous threat in this Suicune. Bulky Suicune of Calm Mind Breast Talk is just so annoying, even of Water Absorb stuff, because, it's threatening and everything. But I predicted him to set up first turn because that's what he did of Gorbis, so I go for the taunt, and it pays off because he does end up going for the Calm Mind, which is absolutely fantastic, I say. And that is just awesome, but now I'm pretty much forced to switch out because I don't want to take a Scald. So, I bring out the only thing that can really take a Scald, and that is ironically my Heatran, because it's a specially defensive Heatran. Even though it's not going to appreciate a Scald, I really have nothing else that wants to take a Scald, and Heatran is probably the most expendable member of my team. So, decided, hey, we'll just bring it in on this, stab Scald, and it actually takes it pretty well. I mean, hey, I can't complain about maybe taking, maybe 30-40% from that. That's pretty cool. So, but anyway, I'm just going to protect and see what he wants to do. I don't know if he's going to Calm Mind. I really don't know if he's just going to go for another Scald. And it turns out I predicted right, and he does go for another Scald. So that is pretty freaking awesome. Predicting you know, the pants off this man, I must say. And I'd like to say that anyway. I really am not usually in a position where I can predict well, but I guess tonight, or that night I was doing this battle, I was predicting like a monster, as I like to say. So, anyway, he decides to call mine, but this is my perfect opportunity to show him that I have the roar! Roar, motherfucker, and get out of here! So that's awesome. As I just roar him out into the, Rhydon. So, that's a big problem, because he's probably Eviolite, he's probably got Earthquake, he's probably got Stone Edge, and all that fun crap and stuff. Now, the only reason you really would bring out a Rhydon is if, you know, it had Eviolite, which is why I assume it's why it's here. But, to be fair, this Rhydon, spoilers, does not take hits as well as I thought it would, even with an Eviolite attached, but that's beside the point right now. So, but anyway, I switch out my Heatran, not wanting to die just yet, as he goes up for the Earthquake, and guys, look how well Krookodile takes this! Holy shit! That's freaking awesome! But yeah, you gotta switch out because you don't want to take an Earthquake, as, the Suicune comes back in, taking Stealth Rock damage. I need to cough a minute. I should really get water when I'm narrating, but I don't because I'm stupid. Anyway, that's coming in right on a knockoff, so no more consistent recovery for you, my friend. Did I say recovery? I meant recovery. Oh my god, I need help. But anyway, I still don't want to take a Scald, so I'm going to switch out, go into my main entry, kind of predicting Calm Mind here, but I'm like, we'll see what happens. But he goes for the Scald, unfortunately, and even more unfortunate is that Manectric is very frail, and he gets the burn. So that really freaking sucks. Now, the switch to Steelix was kind of obvious, so I wanted to ensure that I got good, at least some damage on whatever wanted to switch in. I mean, I figured he'd switch, but at the same time, I wasn't entirely positive. So I just Mega Evolve into the always fearsome Mega Manectric, and trust me, I have some good battles of this later on. But, I just go for the safe, very safe Hidden Power Ice. I actually wouldn't even call that safe, to be fair. But I guess I was safe because if I went for Overheat and he stayed in with Suicune, I would have been a much lesser powerful Thunderbolt on him. So now he does not see the Overheat coming, apparently, and he just dies to that after taking the HP Ice. So that's pretty awesome. This thing is now down, which means Scizor has a bit more of an easier time coming in and just threatening of U-turn and all that kind of fun jazz. So, now he just brings out the Rhydon again. Now, keep in mind, this is a -2 Hidden Power Ice from Mega Manectric. That still does a pretty decent chunk, which is why for a minute I thought this thing was banded, but, you know, it turns out he really isn't because he did switch up moves earlier in the match. So, I guess this just goes to show how frail Rhydon is especially, so, sheesh, that's kind of crazy. But anyway, out comes my Krookodile after Mega Manectric dies, and he's forced to switch out yet again, as he now brings out the Rampardos. Now, I predicted Suicune, because, you know, it just made more sense. I think he predicted me to, like, knock off again or something. No, I go straight for the Earthquake, because I figured that Earthquake from the range that Suicune would, if Suicune would come back in, would die to 2 Earthquakes after Rock's damage. But no, he just goes off and pretty much sacks his Rampardos there. I don't know what kind of Rampardos set it was. Could have been Scarfed, could have been Banded for all I know. I don't know, but I have to assume he just kind of brought it in his death fodder either way. So, but, out comes the Suicune yet again. And now with Mega Manectric down, it's kind of becoming a little bit difficult to bring this thing, you know, easily down without him either A, setting up, or B, you know, or actually, it's a combination of both setting up and, you know, resting. And I just cannot afford to have this thing rest. So, I need, you know, to put in Heatran just in case he does set up. I could probably take one Scald from a +1 Suicune from the current range of health that I was at. And, as I just end up going for the Toxic, which is actually definitely my best play. I mean, I didn't really need to Roar. I really didn't need to, I think the other move I have on the sets, yeah, I didn't need to Protect. I had no reason to Lava Plume, so, yeah, I definitely figured that Tox would be my best play, whether he switched or not. Now, for some odd reason, he switches out into his Tyranitar here. I really had no freaking idea why, but it's whatever, and I guess I just don't know. But anyway, I actually roar on that turn, predicting him to set up, but I really had no business switching out because I was going to die from Stealth Rocks anyway at 9 HP, so I had no business switching out. So he switched out for kind of no reason, and I kind of bit him in the butt because now he fears getting a burn from my Heatran's Lava Plume, and that did a really respectable amount, so that's why I kind of figured either A, he was like a Muscle Band set, but no, he's got to be Eviolite, so I need to stop spectating that now, here and now, because I don't know damage calcs at the top of my head. But unfortunately, I don't get the Lava Plume burn, he just kills me with Earthquake, which is whatever. But anyway, out comes the star of the show. Defensive Krookodile is a monster, and out comes the Earthquake. And if this was Eviolite, it died. It just died. Get out of here. Just die. I mean, sheesh. I have no attack investment. I think 6 EVs into attack. That's it. And it's in Pish. You know, I mean, it's just unbelievable. That's why I didn't think he was an Eviolite. It just didn't take that Earthquake. But anyway, I go for the taunt because I cannot afford him setting up. So I think the main reason why I taunted was because I wanted to prevent the rest for sure. So I take a Scald. I actually do take a Scald, which is awesome. I knew I would take at least one Scald from at least above, you know, around the 130 HP range. So now I can just go for the Earthquake and actually knock him out. Krookodile is a man, ladies and gentlemen. Even though there's probably no ladies watching this. But you know what? I don't care. It's still awesome. And I'm just like, yes. Yes, you are a man. You are the best. You are the bomb. And I'm just happy as hell. And I don't even know where to go from there. But anyway, out comes his last Pokemon, which is the Tyranitar, which I can only assume is his Mega. Now, and of course it is. Now he actually, surprisingly, you know how speed only comes out as the turn after you Mega Evolve. He actually ends up being faster than my Krookodile in regular Tyranitar. Now, you know, Krookodile is naturally fast at base 92, but, you know, I guess a max speed. He's probably a jolly max speed Tyranitar. I don't know if Adamant without speed. I have to actually check into that. I don't know for sure, but, you know, if I lose if he gets a crit, essentially. He does not get a crit of the Stone Edge, and I am able to proceed to knock him out of the superpower, and guys, that will be good game! So yes, that was a pretty fantastic match, I must say. Defensive Krookodile is a man. Definitely try it out. I have a few more battles of this team, you know, I've pretty much given away almost every little thing about this, actually, I wouldn't have lost if Scizor died, because I still had Sylveon with Hyper Voice, so I think it would have been okay, because it was a max defense, max HP Sylveon, so, but yeah, basically the main changes, Keldeo and Scizor are no longer choiced. Primary reason being, I had no form of hazard clearing. I got a defog Scizor, so that's basically what replaced Choice Banded Scizor, which kind of sucks, and I just made a Keldeo Expert Belt. But, yeah, that was the game, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Rate, comment, sub, and later, guys.